Hello, thanks for joining us again for another episode of the Big Beer Friday. This is number 11, and we're joined again by Paul, fellow beer aficionado in the area, and he had a pretty awesome trip to Vermont over the holidays. You want to tell us how we came across these beers here?
Yeah, man, I try and get up there, every couple months. I have family in the area, so I figured why not make the trip? I could always use some fresh hops in my refrigerator, and I hit the jackpot this time, so I figured I'd come by and share them with you guys, and we could put them through Fizzics. I purposely haven't put them through my Fizzics yet because I wanted to wait for this and see what they taste like through it.
Yeah, man, we really appreciate it. You told me you had some Heady Topper, Focal Banger. I was like, awesome. Yeah, definitely bring those in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't had any of these beers on Fizzics either. They're definitely fresh, big, aromatic beers, so I'm really excited to.
I think they were canned this week, so they're gonna.
They can't keep them for more than a week.
They don't. They sell out the day they go on, and these are, you can't get fresher than this unless you drink them the day off them.
Yeah, and that's very actually common for this brewery. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Alchemist Brewery, they're based in Vermont in Waterbury and Stowe.
Stowe, yeah. Well, their new location's in Stowe. The old one got the Waterbury location got flooded.
Damaged, right?
Yeah. They built this new one. It's a bigger facility. They put more out.
I think it's like a 15-barrel system.
Something like that. And I've never gone there, and there's not been a line like through the parking lot and people get there an hour early.
It's pretty nuts. The demand is pretty high for these beers, and I think they even have like allotments. What's it like 2 4
Yeah,
packs?
so you can buy 2 cases, and one case has to be a mixed case of their different beers. So the Focal Banger, you can buy a full case of that, and then the Heady Toppers. So in demand, they don't want everyone hogging it up.
A lot of people know this brewery for the Heady Topper beer. It might be ranked like 100 or 99 or something on all the websites. So it's highly traded beer. You can't get anywhere outside of Vermont.
And not even outside of like a 20-mile radius in Vermont. It's kind of insane.
So it's the definition of a fresh beer.
It's probably one of the original Northeast IPAs. That heavy, juicy. Before
the Trilliums and the Tree Houses. Yeah. I think they started in 2003, the Alchemist. But yes, this is the beers on a lot of people's bucket list. So we have the joy and pleasure today of trying it essentially on draft with microfoam, which you can't get anywhere else unless you have your own Fizzics system. So we're going to talk about Fizzics. What is this cool, beautiful looking device right here? This is the Fizzics Weight Tap. So this is the second generation product of the company Fizzics, and from our original system, which we have here, you can see there's definitely some differences, size, complete redesign. We teamed up with a professional design firm this time around for the Weight Tap. So you can see there's some metal pieces to it. This one is the limited edition copper and dark brown.
And these colors just look awesome together.
Yeah, in person these things are just gorgeous, and just weighs 3 pounds. And what's great about Fizzics is the ability to truly be able to pour the perfect beer no matter where you are, because you don't need to be near an outlet. It's battery operated. You insert the batteries right up top here, 4 AA's. That's all you need. You don't even need any CO2 or nitrogen gas. Like you would with a kegerator, you have a compressed air tank that's hooked up with gas line and beer line. Not very portable and very expensive. This is a very affordable system here. This costs $129.99, and they're available on our website. Check the availability of the ship date on Fizzics.com. It's Fizzics.com. We have some different colors available. This is our white Imperial Chrome. And then we have also a black Imperial Chrome, as well as a slate gray and brushed gunmetal. And we're going to be putting these special aluminum tap handle accent pieces on our website as well. I think they're actually already on there. But just to show you, it kind of matches the metal that's in the base and the tap itself, and it just makes it look all that much better. So how does Fizzics work? Well, when we were thinking about the design, we really wanted to make it easy to use and easy to clean up, set up, and to operate with just one hand. So you can see you just press this button here, and that'll lift it right off of its base. And then there's a stainless steel dip tube in there, which goes directly into the neck of the bottle or the opening of the can. And the sides here are clear, so you can see through, and there's even an open ridge on the side to really watch it go in there. And then you just click it back into place, pull the tap handle forward, and that's going to dispense your beer at a controlled flow rate under pressure. So why controlled flow rate? We don't want to pour with too much vigor where we're going to agitate the dissolved CO2 out of solution, so that's going to create foam. We do want to create foam because that's very important, but we're actually going to have a whole separate process for creating an ideal density foam. So when you're finished tapping the beer forward, you're going to push backwards on the tap, and that's going to have the beer pass through our patented technology, which is a sonic wave oscillator that controls the formation of foam to ensure that all bubbles are a uniform size and an ideal density. So the uniformity in size is key because you don't have bigger bubbles on top of smaller ones, collapsing them due to gravity and have a quick fizzle out and dissipation of your foam. We want the foam to be longer lasting, increase the head retention, because that has a lot of important properties, which we'll talk more about as we start to drink these beers. So the uniformity in the bubble size and also the tiny bubble size, which we call it the micro foam. These bubbles are really tiny. We'll show you a side-by-side pour from, straight from the can, do the proper 45-degree angle pour, and then we'll show you beer topped off with Fizzics micro foam. We'll talk about the differences we're getting in aroma. You'll see for yourself the difference in appearance, and then mouthfeel is the big one that even just, beer, people who are just getting into beer, the first thing that they'll really pick out is, wow, this one is smooth or creamy. And moral of the story is foam has a lot more to do with the whole experience of drinking beer than one might think. And part of what we're doing here at Fizzics is to spread that word and try to educate so people aren't feeling like they got ripped off if they get foam at the bar.
Right.
On the contrary, you really want that foam, and for many different reasons, which we'll start to get into.
And that mouthfeel too through the Fizzics is always kind of surprised me. It's like
yeah.
A beer a heavy stout that tastes creamy with a normal pour is just insanely silky with the Fizzics bubbles. It's wonderful.
It's fun for the beers that you already know you
Right,
love.
right.
Then I gotta try that now. Fizzics, kind of what this show is about.
Right.
And I'm getting a little thirsty talking. I say we should go up in ABV. Maybe we'll start with the focal banger.
Sure.
7%. So this is from the Alchemist, the brewery that we were talking about here. And this beer, I think, gets a little bit left in the shadows behind Heady Topper. They're both IPAs. Well, I guess the Heady is a double. Is it
I thought
considered
this was
double?
the double. Or
This is the
wrong?
7%.
Okay.
This is India Pale Ale. They might both
This
be
is-
just regular.
Yeah,
beers.
there's ale. Yeah, IPAs. Yeah.
So they specialize in really hop-forward beers.
This one though, you couldn't get outside of restaurants or bars until they opened that Stowe location. They refused to sell it to anyone but restaurants or bars. So when this came out from the Stowe location, people kind of went nuts. They could actually get it and bring it home with them now.
Yeah, this, in my personal opinion, I've had both of these beers. They're phenomenal, but I actually might even prefer the Focal Banger.
Yeah.
And just to give you a little bit of ingredients, it uses Citra and Mosaic hops. It's a couple of my favorite, and our favorite British malts. And so when you're adding hops, there's two main stages. You can classify them into early additions or late additions. Late additions refer to any hop additions that are made towards the end of the kettle boil. So like in the last 15 minutes or flame out or in the whirlpool. And then also dry hopping, which is adding hops into a cold fermenting tank of beer in the process, fermenting beer. And that really gives you the aromas and the flavors. So like the flavors of citrus, or the flavors of tropical fruit or melon or berry. Whereas when you add the hops in the beginning of the boil, so at 60 minutes or 90 minutes, depending on your boil length, that's going to help all the alpha acids in the hops isomerize to create bitterness. So there's actually oils in the lupulin glands of the hop plant, or the hop leaf itself, that contribute the bitterness to beer. What a lot of the West Coast IPAs, the West Coast is known for having really hoppy, bracingly bitter beers.
Right.
They have they have all different styles, but they're more known for their bitter IPAs. Whereas on the Northeast kind of has a thing going now with some really
hazy.
Yeah, it's almost
hazy.
Opaque. Just beers that had tons of hops added late in the process.
Get that juicy flavor from
Juicy,
piney.
Yeah, you're just getting hit with the aroma, and when you're drinking it, it's not like you're getting like your tongue scrubbed with like bitterness. It's more, this is like juicy, fruity.
Right, you can taste that citrusy kind of.
More hop flavor than bitterness, and it's important to differentiate the two because saying hoppy isn't really giving you a fully clear picture. But these beers, if I remember them, they have some bitterness because it is an IPA.
Yeah, it's an IPA.
But they are pretty juicy. So, just gonna hold your glass at an angle like you'd see a bartender do, and notice we're not agitating too much of that foam. Don't really want to create too much head right now. But then to top, we push back. It doesn't take a whole lot, and it'll give some really efficient, nice, dense, compact foam there for you. It's got a nice light color of the to it. You can see it's not very clear, just because there's so much hop residue in there. But it tells me that there weren't too many specialty malts. It's probably just a nice base malt instead of a British malt.
You can smell
a little bit of breadiness. We got some baguette here, some fresh baguette to pair. Kind of going with some of these lighter hop-forward beers that have more of a bready malt component to them.
Wow.
But definitely getting a lot of aromatics.
Yeah, it smells.
They're beautiful.
You can smell that bitterness almost right away. And
yeah, it definitely has the citrus, but I'd say it also has like some melon. And
I've actually never.
You can
taste the mosaic. Yeah, I've never actually poured one of these into a glass because it gives you stern instructions on the can. And
we can talk about why that is on the can. So it's they're very famous for printing "Please, drink directly from the can" on their packaging, and that is partly because the owner believes that when you crack open the can, that little window where you drink from is acting like a funnel to blast those hop aromas up to your nose. And also, since these beers are so heavily hopped, they aren't going to be crystal clear and brilliant, and they might have some residue down the bottom of the can.
And that's from the dry hop, right?
From the dry hop. They probably undergo some filtration, but not to extreme degrees or any sterile filters or anything. So I don't mind a nice beer. It doesn't need to be brilliant. I like it to be flavorful.
Yeah, these are.
And this beer is delicious. It's like a medium light body.
Right, and it's not that bitter. Like you would think this kind of beer would be way more bitter than it is. It just has a nice, like you said, citrusy, mango-ish kind of flavor, and the mouthfeel with the bubbles is pretty good too.
Yeah.
I've never had one of these beers on tap.
Nor have I.
Yeah,
they probably have just a handful of accounts.
Right, yeah, up in Waterbury and Stowe or Burlington, which is, if you ever get the chance to get up there, it's a beautiful place just to drive around and check out. There's some insane breweries going on up there.
Check out the lacing there. Hold that up to the camera. Beautiful lacing on the glass, the foam sticking around. When you have the foam stick around to the end, it prevents any more gas from escaping. So when you get down to the bottom of the beer, it doesn't have a different body. So it's not thinned out or starting to go flat. Nobody likes a flat beer. And in addition, it just continues to trap and release those aromas, those volatile aroma compounds. If you have like really estery and phenolic, spicy Belgian beer that those yeast esters and aromas are going to get released in the foam. In this situation, we have all those hop oil compounds getting released. You know, your malt forward beers, you're going to have the same thing. Beers with coffee, any other adjunct, you're gonna smell it more, and in doing so, you're gonna taste more.
Taste a lot more.
Yeah, so we're not claiming that Whey Tap makes Heady Topper taste better, but we will say that when you drink a beer poured the proper way, you're gonna perceive everything that's in it that the brewer fully wanted you to perceive.
All right.
So.
I think this is the first too. I actually finished my my glass on the Big Beer Friday before
Yeah,
we were done with the show.
Exactly. We don't have to go to work today.
Right, I do not have to go to work today. Yeah. So normally I'm rushing out the door here when we're done. Get to work.
All right, so let's go sip a sunshine now.
Okay, so this is
Sunshine?
not sunshine. Maybe you should stop drinking. So this is not Alchemist. This is Lawson's Finest Liquids, and this is actually brewed in Connecticut, I believe. They have another small brewery in Warren, Vermont, which you cannot go to. They do not have a retail location. However, while I was up there this last time, someone told me they were building a larger retail location, so you can actually go check out where they brew the beer and make the beer. This stuff is, right now, is probably a little harder to get than the Heady Topper or the Focal Banger because it is not brewed as much, or it's brewed in smaller batches.
Small. Yeah, I was reading into it. I believe the guy started on a 1 barrel system.
Right.
Now he's at a 7, unless he's gone up from. I think he contract brews at Two Roads.
Right, in Connecticut. And
for this beer because there's such great demand.
And they have another one called Super Session number 2, which I'm a little ashamed I didn't bring, or I didn't get any because I just didn't have time for session beers that trip. But it's one of my favorite session IPAs. It's just delicious. Like what they do with their hops is insane. But I really like Sip of Sunshine. I might even say I like Sip of Sunshine a little more than the Alchemist.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I'm excited to try this.
Yeah, so this is a good one.
So I believe this Lawson's Finest Liquids. They specialize in a lot of beers with maple.
Yep.
And then hop forward. So they're definitely their two specialties. And
when I walked into the store where I got these from, I was lucky enough to grab a bottle of one of their Imperial Stouts too.
Did it have maple?
It has, maple faced in Imperial Stout, which I'm excited to try. I don't know when I'm going to drink it. But yeah, you can even see this a lot clearer.
Yeah, so definitely more filtration into this. I'm assuming I know Two Roads is a pretty state-of-the-art facility there, but again, gorgeous foam. You can't even, from this distance, see the exterior of the bubbles. It looks just like one creamy mass, which you can tell right away if you show somebody. They're like, "Whoa, what's different about that? Is that a nitro pour?"
Right.
This is not a nitro pour. There's no nitrogen added, no gas at all added. We're sticking with the CO2 levels that the brewer set. So that's the whole thing with Fizzics, is we just want to put the brewer's own creation in its best light. We're not trying to add anything. We're not trying to change anything. We just want to have it, they put all this work and effort into making it set when they get it in the package or the keg, and really lose control once it leaves the brewery. So, this lets you get to that first sip really exactly how it should be. And that's a gorgeous, nice
it's
gold
really,
there.
Golden.
It's pretty strong gold, and definitely have some different hoppy aromas. But again, a lot of late hop additions, you can tell.
And they put the lupin powder in this, I
The
believe.
lupulin powder?
Lupulin powder, yeah.
So this is like almost an extracted
Right.
form of.
Yeah, this is insane.
That's super clean. I'd say the bitterness is perfect.
Yep.
It's not
overly
too bitter. It's not overwhelming the malt profile, because there is you can taste a hint of some sort of specialty malts in there, but they're not overwhelmed by the hop bitterness or vice versa. I think it's a nice balance. Obviously a hop forward balance for the style, but it's pretty excellent.
Yeah. They do a double of this, I believe, double sunshine. And I haven't either. It's very, very rare. If anyone wants to send me one, you can send one over. We'll put it on the show here. I promise.
Yeah, and if anyone is nearby, so our office is in Wall, New Jersey. If anyone's nearby, really loves beer, and would like to come join us for a show, you're more than welcome. Just reach out to us, and we'll invite you on.
Yep.
And if anybody out there has a Fizzics or a system or a new weight tap or Kickstarter backers out there, and you're trying new, cool, some of your favorite beers through the Fizzics, take pictures, tag us on social media. We're on Instagram and Facebook, Twitter. But let us know what you're drinking on your Fizzics. Try to, if we see some really great pictures, we'll send you out some t-shirts or glasses or whatnot. But we love that. We love seeing fan photos and just like to see people putting it to use. And we really encourage experimenting with different beers when you have a Fizzics. You have draft beer, but you don't need to buy a whole keg of it, which kind of encourages trying a bunch of different beers like we're doing here today.
We had friends come over who are not craft beer drinkers, and my buddy drinks Miller Lite exclusively, and we put the Miller Lite through Fizzics, and he's like, it actually tastes a little better.
Oh yeah.
No, I didn't realize, you could make a Miller Lite taste better, but it did.
Yeah. I mean, that when you have a perfect head of foam,
right?
It's visually, aromatically, flavor, and mouthfeel.
Yeah, the mouthfeel is what really gets me. I think the mouthfeel and the aromas that come out of the microphone. Yeah, Lawson's is good.
That they are. And they're even newer than the Alchemist.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like 2000.
Honestly couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
These beers all hold a special place in my heart too, because they were like the first, aside from Kane, which is right down the road from May, they were like the first craft beers I drank. I was drinking Kane a couple years back, and I didn't realize it was like a thing to have like a microbrewery in your area. And then I took a trip up to my family's house, and my sister-in-law said, "Have you heard of a Heady Topper?" I was like, "No." "Oh, you gotta try something. It's supposedly delicious." And I made the trip up there the first time, and
worth it.
I can't say I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I can't say I was disappointed.
Yeah, that's there's a huge black market for this beer.
Yeah.
The trade value of it is insane.
Yeah.
There's
stories, like if you look on like Reddit or whatever, there's stories of shady liquor stores putting it on shelves, not in coolers, and selling it for triple what they charge at the brewery, which is pretty insane.
Yeah, they frown upon that.
Yeah, they don't like that.
So,
and we're gonna do the legend now, huh?
Yeah, here it goes. So you can see these beers are all in the 16-ounce can format, which is one of my personal favorites, which fits great here in the weight tap. It'll actually accommodate up to a 25-ounce can. With your bottles, though, you just want to stick to a standard 12-ounce. Here in Europe, some of the 500 milliliter bottles will fit in there as well. But again, just load up our little individual keg for our draft beer, and we're going to be able to pour as much liquid and as much microfoam as we want.
Yep.
Be in control of everything.
I'm very interested to see how this one looks out of the can. I've never seen it out of the can, and I've drank it 1,000 times.
Yeah, we're breaking rules here. We're not drinking out of the can, and we're making it draft. Oh, yeah. Get in there.
It looks like a hazy juice bomb. Yeah, you see, you almost get like a grassy, kind of piney, with a little citrus.
Yeah, definitely.
It's very grassy, though, I think.
I think a completely different hop profile than the
Right.
Focal. It's more on that, like, dank, grassy, green herbaceous side than on the fruity.
The true pine kind of.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I think I read an article one time where his dry hopping regime is like very complex, more so than just like a standard.
Yeah.
We'll throw in this many pounds of hops per barrel. It's like,
and I'm not gonna lie, as
multiple different days.
As a home brewer, I tried to clone this, and it never came close.
How much money did you have to spend on hops?
A lot.
5 gallon batch. Yeah.
A lot. Enough that my wife said, "Stop trying to make it."
Yeah, that's great, and that foam is really putting a nice element on the bitterness.
Right.
It's not taking away any of the bitterness. It's all there, but it's taking away, I think, some of that bite maybe.
And it feels creamy, hoppy, grassy.
You even have a little bit of that perfumey alcohol in the background. This one is taking it up a little bit in ABV, just 8%, in the upper ranges of an IPA, bordering on a double or imperial. But I think this also does not feel heavy at all.
No,
it's
which is also kind of a dangerous thing. You can go to the beach and drink a 4-pack.
Yeah, it's quite refreshing. But I think they achieved that. I mean, you did the clone brew, but there was some some simple sugars added in there.
Simple sugars, yeah,
just to get to that ABV and.
Yeah, and I'm not a very good brewer, so I always ended up throwing in some extract. to get my efficiency up.
Yeah, and this gets you to 8%, packs a whole ton of flavor with being super light, full of flavor.
Lots of flavor.
There's a reason why this is one of the most sought after beers in America. And
because it's really good.
You got to make the trip to Vermont. Or know a guy.
Or no.
Yeah. But don't create a black market.
No, don't try and sell. People, when I come back down here from Vermont, they're like, I'll buy a couple cans. No. I'll give you a can because I don't want to be that
what
guy.
goes around comes around. We'll trade.
I was up there once and a guy was like, oh, I go up here, once a week and sell it back down 3 times the price. No.
Got him in a trench coat.
That's not cool. That's not cool. Yeah, no. What do you got?
Goes to the border.
But yeah, this is, through the Fizzics, is a whole new taste, feel.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to try these. Thanks for bringing these by.
Thanks for having me all the time.
Pretty awesome.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, you're always welcome. We got a question?
So Megan wants to know how the sip of sunshine tastes out of the machine. She must have missed that part.
So
recap.
Sip of sunshine.
Yeah,
I did it again.
Sunshine.
It's like a tongue twister. Sip of sunshine was really delicious. Out of the 3, it had the most clarity.
The lightest feel, I'd say.
The lightest feel, and it was somewhere in between, I think it was probably more on the citrusy side, as opposed to the piney, grassy side.
Right, I'd say it was more of a malty kind of flavor to it than a hoppy.
Does it list the hops? Let's see. Juicy tropical fruit character, bright floral aromas, and delectable layers of hop flavor. But essentially, through the Fizzics, it gave it a nice creamy sensation. Takes kind of a bite off of the bitterness, and just really, for the IPAs, what's great is it just constantly is releasing that bouquet of aromas that, the aromas are in the foam. That's where they hang out. They want to get out, they want to escape, and then they're trapped in the foam. So by shrinking the bubble size down, we're increasing the surface area, so there's more launching points for those compounds to rise up through the glass, and you breathe it in through your nostrils, in the back of your throat, and it can sense, your olfactory system and your nose and your retronasal can sense way more compounds than your tongue can. So actually what I've read is the majority of what you perceive as taste actually has to do with what you're smelling simultaneously. Yep. So like if you had a cold or
that's
if you closed up your nose and just ate, it's
I read
it tastes like salty, bitter, sour, but nothing else.
I read you could eat an apple, an onion, and something else. If you held your nose closed, they would all taste exactly the same.
Yeah,
which is pretty insane. Like an apple, you think of what an apple tastes like, nice and sweet, and an onion is an onion.
Yeah, you
hold your
realize
nose, they taste exactly
afterwards
the same.
that you're in pain. But that's very true. Your tongue is very limited in what it can taste, but in conjunction with what you're smelling and the different combinations of compounds is really insane. And that's what gives us the broad flavor spectrum that is beer, and all the different ingredients that are getting experimented with, and they're creating new ones. Hops that are 10 plus years in development coming out, new regions of the world growing hops that didn't used to, like New Zealand, Australia, Spain's got a great scene.
I just read too that like America is now like one of the number 2 hop producers.
Them and Germany have been going back and forth with aroma hops and the high alpha bitterness hops, and it's a pretty exciting time to be a beer lover.
Right.
And no better time to experiment. And if you're like, wow, there's so many beers out there, and you know, I've been sticking with this one beer and it's overwhelming. You know, how do I start to learn and take it all in? What I say to you is, this is all happening so fast. It's very new, but just go out there and experiment. A lot of liquor stores and grocery stores will do like make your own variety pack or mix of 6 packs, and that's great to be able to try 6 different beers. You can have them all on draft at home if you have yourself a Fizzics system, and that really can help you to figure out what styles you like, what flavor profiles you like. You can do it in the comfort of your own home or wherever you decide to take your portable draft system. You know, they're great for parties. You were hosting.
I had my daughter's first birthday party, and we put a majority of the beer through the Fizzics out of growlers, and all my friends were like, "This is pretty cool."
Yeah.
They loved it, yeah. And I've taken it to work a couple times, and they liked it there too.
Outdoors too, even though this thing is super beautiful and you might want to like keep it safe and protected on your counter, it's pretty rugged and dope.
It's definitely going to the beach with me.
Yeah, and we actually have carrying cases made for them.
Yeah.
Which are available on our website as well. They're super lightweight. It fits like a glove. There's cutouts inside to place it in there perfectly, and really small and compact, and great for bringing your weight tap with you. Obviously, it can be a staple on your countertop, but
it looks beautiful.
It looks beautiful. We had somebody the other day reach out to us and say, you know, I didn't order the carrying case because, you know, I didn't think I was gonna take it with me anywhere or leave it off. You know, I was just gonna leave it on my countertop. And they said, but we want to add it on now because I don't want to leave without it.
Right.
Like, it's just...
When I came here, I told you I haven't drank a beer except for last night when I had to take the batteries out of it to put them in a toy for my daughter because she was melting down. I haven't drank a beer not out of the Fizzics since you guys hooked me up with one, and it is, it's delicious.
Cheers to that, brother.
Salute.
Thanks everybody for tuning in today. Think of some questions for next time. We'll post early next week about the next week's Big Beer Friday. We always take suggestions for beers. If you have questions that you think of after we're ending, go ahead and throw them down in the comment section. If you have your weight tap or your original Fizzics system and you're experimenting with a bunch of different beers, make sure you send us those pictures or tag us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and if you get some really great images, we're going to send you a shirt, we're going to send you some glasses. We love that. We love seeing what you guys are putting through your Fizzics. And
don't be afraid to put weird things through it.
Yeah.
Especially the big stouts.
Yeah.
Delicious through it.
We put some breakfast,
the breakfast
Scrapple stouts through
that
here.
one. I can't believe I missed that one.
Fruited beers, great. But yeah, experiment with the different foam levels and different beer styles. That's what it's all about.
Yep.
So cheers. See you guys next week.